Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast again. Thank you, Dr. Hodge, for joining me again
Oh,
today.
thanks for having me, Tal. It's always a pleasure.
For me as well. So today we're coming with a new subject for the podcast. Last podcast we spoke about SPF, sun damage, sun protection. What about ingredients in the sun protection that can help, that can damage, and to clarify about sun protection. Today we'll speak about something that's related to the sun, but less on protection, more something that can actually damage your skin.
That's right.
And today it's one of the big thing in the industry of aesthetic and the medical field as well. We're talking about hyperpigmentation. And I was asking Dr. Hodge today to join me that she can explain you, okay, today about first the what is hyperpigmentation and to explain you about more the not
The physiology.
the physiology of
surrounding
hyperpigmentation. So I will leave you the space to explain.
We know about the melanocytes. The melanocytes are the cells in the basal layer of the epidermis that produce melanin. Now, how does the melanin that is produced in the melanocytes get to the surface of the skin to the keratinocytes, which will color the skin? So there are a number of factors involved in this process. It's a very complex mechanism and regulated at many points by many things. But to put it in a nutshell, pigmentation made simple. The melanocytes form the melanin. This melanin is picked up by melanosomes. Melanosomes organelles that pick up the melanin from the melanocytes and take it to the surface of the epidermis, to the keratinocytes. So there are a number of steps involved, a number of products, a number of proteins that are involved in the color of the skin. What is important to know is that whether you're skin type 1 or skin type 6, whether you're pale or you're black, we have the same number of melanocytes. What is different between the different skin colors is the activity, the size, and the number of the melanosomes. So the size, the activity, and the number of the organelles that are picking up the melanin, packaging it, and taking it to the keratinocytes, to the skin. And this is what varies among all of us. Also, the UV radiation is an important factor in pigmentation. It's not the only factor, but it is an important factor. And we will see how the UV radiation affects the melanins, the melanosomes, the keratinocytes.
So
Keratinocytes.
I would like to clarify something so just to people to understand. So it doesn't matter if we're talking on skin type 1 or 2, okay, that it's very light skin compared to skin type 5 and 5 and 6, which is more dark skin.
Right.
So people, just to clarify the point that the amount of melanocytes that is responsible on production eventually of melanin, they are the same for all human beings.
The same for all human beings. What differs is the number, the size, the activity of the melanosomes, and also the type of melanin that is produced. I don't want to go into anything that's unnecessary, but there are three different types of melanins, and black-skinned individuals have a predominance of one. Pale-skinned, pale-skinned individuals with red hair who are more likely to burn have more of the other one. Patients with albinism, albinos, that's another condition.
They don't have melanin.
But they do not have melanin. It's not to say that they do not have melanocytes. They do not have melanin.
Yeah, because their skin type don't have the ability to become darker. So
That's
even
right.
their melanocyte will like to produce melanin, it will not
No.
color their skin, the hair, or their eyes.
And okay, right. So I don't want to jump the gun.
So thank you to clarify the physiology of hyperpigmentation and to explain a bit what is melanocyte, keratinocyte, melanin. Obviously, that it's subject that we can go much further.
Yes.
Okay, so if there is
We can
any
spend
question,
semesters on this.
exactly. So if there is any more question specific to what is melanocyte, keratinocyte, melanin, or any question about the physiology of hyperpigmentation, please write us, comment us, let us know,
Let us know.
and we can answer.
We'll be happy to address whatever it is you need.
Exactly. Welcome back. Like usual, every episode we came to break myths in the industry of cosmetic and to speak about skin conventions. So today we have a couple of questions about hyperpigmentation, and we actually planning to do about 3-4 episodes
Yes,
that related to hyperpigmentation
it's a
because
huge subject area.
it's very large. We're gonna speak about general stuff, about natural solution, about technologies, about prescriptions, about cosmetic, about high-end cosmetic. So we'll speak on all the solution that exists outside there, even prescriptions. So we will start first with general myths that exist in the on hyperpigmentation. Again, like usual, if there is any specific concern or question that you want us to clarify, please let us know and write it on the comments or send us message directly. So the first myth that I would like you, Dr. Hodge, to clarify, it will be a question about hyperpigmentation can affect people with dark skin tones. So only people with dark skin tone.
No, hyperpigmentation affects everyone. Remember, everyone has the melanocytes, and the melanocytes produce the melanin. The melanin is packaged by the melanosomes and taken and deposited to the keratinocytes. So everyone has that. Remember, when there is inflammation, so there is acne, there's cystic acne, there's inflammation, or you're shaving and there is inflammation on the skin, you're exposed to the sun, there are hormonal changes, there is an increase in the activity of the melanocytes, so there's greater melanin production, and then there is an increase in the activity and the distribution of the melanosomes and the size as well. They get, they're filled with melanin, and they go to the keratinocytes and deposit it. So everyone subjected to the same physiology. And when this becomes abnormal, then it's pathology. And remember that a tan and sunburn, these are damage. This is damage. This is pathology. So anyone can be subjected to hyperpigmentation irrespective of the skin color.
So I would like to touch in another point related to darkened skin tone or general skin tones, okay? Because as we know, we divided the skin tone to 6 skin types, which is called Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Okay, so we have Fitzpatrick 1 to 6. What is important for me to clarify and explain to you that there is some people that can tan very easily, and it's not mean they will not get sun damage. It's just that they have the ability to tan and they can have less risk. But like Dr. Hodge mentioned last episode about Bob Marley, that even people with dark skin, African skin, can get melanoma, and like Bob Marley passed away from melanoma. So what is important for me to explain that people with light skin tone that don't have the ability to tan and really want to expose to the sun or going UV beds and put tanning cream and really want to be brown, okay, unfortunately, you put yourself in risk, higher risk to get skin cancer, okay, and get a more sun damage as sun spots, age spots, to get age skin faster, okay, and again, eventually not to get it just on the face because hyperpigmentation it can appear all over the body.
Arms, the neck, the décolletage, everywhere.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
So people with light skin, you can get an idea. It's everything genetic. So you can get an idea with your parents. If your parents are light skin, look on their body. If you see a lot of freckles everywhere, okay, it can be genetic, but it's become much more appear much more on the skin when you have over sun exposure. So it's important to realize that when we are young, you will not see it right away, but it will, after 30 years old usually, you will start to see it more. And in some point, even if it's freckles, it doesn't mean that even if it's natural pigmentation, it will not damage your skin or prevent you to get melanoma.
Right. And that's really very important because we're not to confuse the genetic freckles to skin damage. They're very different entities. When a patient is born, when an individual is born, especially to very pale skinned individuals, say skin type 1 or skin type 2, one of the parents may have red hair, may have freckles. This individual is predisposed to having the same genetic, the skin phenotype. Yes, phenotype. If someone was born without freckles, maybe a skin type 2 or 3, and by age 20, 30, their arms have freckles, we know that that is sun damage. That is abnormal pigmentation. That's what we call a dyschromia. Dyschromia is a pigmentation which is not it's not normal. It's something that is a result of something that went wrong. And we see it on the arms, the neck, the décolletage, the legs,
Shoulders
the
as well.
shoulders, the back. I have gentlemen, because especially construction workers, in the summer they go out without a shirt and the back is covered with sun damage.
Yep. And even for some people that are bald, it can appear even
Yes,
on
the
the scalp.
scalp.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
again, the skin, it's skin. It doesn't matter if it's the face, the body, or the scalp. Okay, you can damage your skin all over. So it's very important that when you're exposed to the sun, just for tanning purposes, pool, go to the beach or anything else, it's important to protect all your body
Yes.
and actually to put sun protection all over. Now go
Everywhere.
to the last episode and understand what is the SPF mean, and then you realize how often you should apply it as well.
Apply it, and because you have to protect. You can't do anything to treat hyperpigmentation before you protect your skin from pigmentation.
So the next question that I would like you to clarify, the next myth, that sun exposure can cure hyperpigmentation, because today there is many things that you can read online and many things in Google, and people not always realize that even if it's online or in Google, it's not always trustable and
Yeah,
reliable as
that's
an
right.
information, okay, because some people can write articles that they can write article, but it's not necessarily the right information. So it's very important for me for that Dr. Hodge will
Yes,
clarify this.
and this is important to clarify because I believe the thinking by individuals who would spout this myth would be that sun exposure will darken the lighter areas of the skin so that it will match the hyperpigmented area, and that does not happen. Sun exposure increases melanin deposition everywhere, not just in lighter areas. So if there is an area of hyperpigmentation and an area of skin that is not as dark, not as hyperpigmented, you go into the sun, you will get pigmentation of everything. The hyperpigmented area, the what is damaged, plus what was previously not damaged. So you will have the same irregularity, the same pigmentary irregularity, the same dark spots compared to the lighter areas. Sun exposure does not cure hyperpigmentation. I will go further. It worsens it. Because when you recover from that sun exposure, you may very well find that the hyperpigmented area is now, in fact, more prominent than it had been before you exposed to the sun. So that is a huge myth. Please, there are a number of things that cause hyperpigmentation, but we begin treating hyperpigmentation by avoiding sun exposure.
So I will do like the question a bit more sharp because
A bit more what, sorry?
I will sharpen the question. I will make it like more specific.
Oh,
Many
I'm talking too much.
no. I'm just want to extend the question. Okay, so let's say in that sun exposure can cure hyperpigmentation. Many people believe that. Okay, especially people with dark skin.
Yes.
Why? Because they believe that if they become darker
It will
with dark
deepen.
exposure, it will also will prevent them to get skin damage. Why? Because let's go to people that living in hot countries or in the desert. Often they can live in
Yes.
middle of nowhere and they will wear always black clothes and will cover all their skin, all their face, and will actually have black. Why? Because the black color actually absorb the
Yes.
sun.
Yes.
But people don't realize that it's not piece of tissue, the skin, it's actually a skin
Yes.
and it gets
It's an
damaged.
organ with cells that get damaged and repeated damage to the cells, repeated damage to the DNA
And
result in mutation.
for me, guys, to explain you how much the sun is strong, okay? You expose to the sun and you get burned and you see yourself become dark. But like we clarify already that even dark skin can get sun damage and can get burns or even cancer, skin cancer, or
And the pigmentary
even
disorders are
skin.
probably more marked in darker skin tones.
You want to do a test? Take a piece of nylon, okay, or piece of plastic, okay. Go to do your tanning thing and put a piece of plastic next to you, okay. I want you to see the color of the plastic and how damaged the plastic become compared to your skin.
Yes.
And this is after 30 minutes. So imagine what happened when you're doing this lifetime. Because if you will check plastic after couple of days in the sun, probably will be destroyed.
Leathery and brittle. You can it breaks.
Exactly.
And a very leathery, tough. It's not attractive, and it's not durable. It breaks.
So just to realize what it can cause to paint, to car, to plastic, to houses, to anything that exposed too much and long time to the sun, try to realize what it's doing to your skin.
This is everything. If you have a rug on your hardwood floor and there are windows around, and at the end of the year you pick up the rug and you see the difference in the area that of the hardwood that was protected by the rug and the rest of the floor that had been exposed to the sun.
Exactly.
It affects everything: fabric, hardwood, plastic,
Metal,
metal,
anything.
the skin, the skin
So
with living cells.
metal will become rusty. Okay, so just again try to realize how much it can damage your skin, and I don't think that there is any material that actually can be 100% resistant to the sun. I don't think so. Maybe we learn something new, but I don't think so. So this is about to clarify about sun exposure that absolutely cannot cure hyperpigmentation.
No, not at
Okay.
all.
So the next myth that we'd like to break, it's a bit more large question, but there is many alternative that client or patient trying to do or they read it online and they believe that it can help them to reduce the hyperpigmentation. So if people believe that scrubbing harder can get rid of darker spot, and if they will use also lemon juice or stuff that based on vitamin C will help to bright the skin. So I can understand the logic of scrubbing because I think if they remove a layer, it will make it
Yeah.
brighter. But
No, but if we
I'd
go
like you to
back,
clarify. Yeah.
if we go back to the genesis of pigmentation, we know that scrubbing does not affect the activity of the melanocytes, nor the activity and the number and the distribution of the melanosomes, nor the deposition of the melanin into the keratinocytes. Exfoliating is important, and I encourage everyone to do this step once or twice per week. I encourage them, though, to be very, very careful with their exfoliation. And I advise my clients not to use a mechanical, not to use a scrub, because you don't want to do anything that will induce inflammation in the skin. There is post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which is something that everyone deals with. It is real. It is lasting. Of course, it's not permanent, but it is lasting. And we don't want to do anything that will increase the risk of inflammation and hyperinflammatory pigmentation. The lemon juice, vitamin C is a skin brightener, and it is also an irritant. And there are a number of clients who are not able to tolerate certain concentrations of vitamin C. So there's 20%, there's 10%, there's 15%, there is 8%. There are different concentrations of vitamin C depending on the sensitivity and the irritability of the skin. The lemon juice is not just vitamin C. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid, it's citric acid, it's all kinds of different, acidic components, and it is often very, very, very irritating to sensitive skins. In fact, to most skins. If you're using lemon juice in the kitchen and some of it gets on the back of the hands, it can turn it red. It can cause it to itch, and this is inflammation. The redness, when it happens to a great extent, and in patients and clients who are susceptible, the redness can can result in pigmentation. This is the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and this takes the care and the products and the treatments to treat just as any other hyperpigmentation would. So no scrubbing of the skin. I recommend my clients to use exfoliants that are either alpha hydroxy acid based or enzyme based, and to do it once or twice a week, not too frequently. Nothing mechanical, nothing abrasive that is going to scrub your skin, because this abrasiveness is going to incite an inflammatory response.
So bottom line, from what I know, first citric acid that you have in the lemon, it can trigger burns
That's
with
right. Yeah.
sun
Yeah.
exposure.
Burns.
So very very important to when if even if you choose to do that, eventually we not coming to tell you what to do. We just suggest
We will
what is the right
suggest.
things to do.
we would like to suggest not to use lemon juice on your skin.
Exactly, because even if you did it in the last night and you exposed to the sun day after, you can still have acidity in your skin that will create burns, and this burn will become darker if you have darker skin. If no, it can create general burn, and then you will have maybe scar that cannot be reversible as well. So it's very important to understand that lemon juice or anything that contain citric acid, it can be very dangerous, okay? And also scrubbing can create inflammation as well. So I will give you another idea, okay? Many guys or ladies that will do hair removal, waxing, trading, hair, lasers, IPL, doesn't matter what is the way to do the removal. If you will do a removal and you will exposed to the sun right away without sun protection, okay, what actually happened is trigger hyperpigmentation.
And this, there are ladies who come in who wax their upper lips, and no one should wax. No one should wax. I tell my ladies, you come, we'll stop the waxing, I will shave you, and we'll do hair removal. But the waxing, there is what looks like a 5 o'clock shadow on the upper lip. So it looks like a mustache that is coming back. Men shave in the morning, and by 5 o'clock, we see the reappearance of the stubble, and that's the 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
So there are ladies who walk around with a permanent 5 o'clock shadow because of the inflammation induced by the continuous waxing. And I know it's difficult. I mean, I have little whiskers as well, but you take a little manicure scissors, you snip, and you have them lasered, and with time, there's nothing.
So very important before, even if our recommendation, if you choose to do anything that consider natural or solution that you can try to find it by yourself, at least to try to consult with someone before you're doing it, okay? Someone professional, doctor,
If you have a
esthetician.
family doctor, if you have a dermatologist, run it by them before you go out and do these things.
Definitely. And to understand it today, there is very effective solution in the market. Okay, so it's you can make your own research to do few consultation, and you can find something that will suit your problem, and you can find treatment with technologies, product or prescriptions. This why you have to go through consultation and to find the right solution for you. And the last myth for today, it's a big myth actually, okay, because some of the hyperpigmentation will disappear by their own, but many people believe that hyperpigmentation with time will disappear by its own. So I think that many people don't understand the difference between type of hyperpigmentation. Okay, that we have sunspot, age spot, melasma, hyperinflammatory pigmentation, traumatic pigmentation. There is many type of variation that some of them, yes, they will disappear with time, okay, and some of them will be there for life. So I would like you to clarify that point.
So generally speaking, hyperpigmentation won't disappear with time. There are cases where there is fading with the hyperpigmentation. This can happen over years, especially the traumatic hyperpigmentation. So you're on your skateboard and you fall, a huge abrasion on your forehead, and it heals and it is hyperpigmented, and no treatment. 10 years after the fact, it might be a little faded, but it will still be there. And this is because the treatment of the hyperpigmentation it's not just time. You need protection from the sun. You need moisturizing. You need something to continue to increase the turnover of the keratinocytes, the skin cells. You need retinols, vitamin C, niacinamide, alpha arbutin. These are all agents that are used in order to increase cellular turnover, inhibit melanin production, inhibit the transfer of melanin from the melanosomes to the keratinocytes, decrease the inflammatory process. These are all things that are used together to decrease hyperpigmentation. Now, it is something that one individual ought not to take upon themselves to do on their own, because we're going to end up with individuals scrubbing the skin, with individuals using lemon juice, with individuals essentially making bad matters worse. So, bottom line, no, hyperpigmentation will not improve with time. It will not disappear with time. And it's always essential, it's always advisable for you to get professional input, professional treatments, and guidance.
Definitely, and it's important that when you're going to consult, that to ask the same doctor, family doctor, dermatologist, esthetician, same professional that you're consulting with, to realize what type of hyperpigmentation you have.
Yes.
Because there is some types like sunspot
Yeah.
that they will be there for life. Yes, you can treat them, you can make them disappear, but without to maintain the
Right.
result, it will comes out again.
And I didn't specifically go into the different types of
Yeah,
hyperpigmentation.
this is we will touch in next
Yes,
episode as well.
but things like melasma, the PIH, the sun damage, the sunspots, the age spots, again, with time, we often see a worsening, not a fading, but we see a worsening of these conditions, of the hyperpigmentation associated with these conditions.
So if we're going to the question of before, let me know if to clarify that point. We asked before one met that if you sun exposure can help you to heal the skin, to cure the skin. So if we're talking now on clients that actually suffering from hyperpigmentation, doesn't matter what is the cause,
underlying cause.
okay? So just I want them to realize that actually over sun exposure will make your spot darker,
Yes,
and
that's right.
actually will not help
It
them
will
to get
worsen.
to disappear faster.
Yes.
Okay, so am I right in
You
that
are
point?
absolutely right.
Okay.
100%
So
right.
it was important to explain it that let's say people with dark skin, okay, or Mediterranean skin or Asian skin, people that have brown or dark spot of acne scars, for example. It's take a while to get rid of them.
Yes.
Okay, but you must understand that when you're exposed to the sun without sun protection, your spots will become darker all the time, and then you prolong your time to heal your skin. So this is why sun protection is you must to be your best friend when you suffer already from hyperpigmentation.
If you're not using sun protection, you ought not to use anything else. No retinols, no niacinamide, no alpha arbutin, no hydroquinone. If you're not protecting from the sun, then you really don't want to treat your hyperpigmentation. I'm sorry, I know that's a hard blow,
Yeah.
but that's a fact.
So I hope again that we help you to understand few points about hyperpigmentation, that you got new information that actually can help you as individual or as a professional to get the right information. And again, if you have any more
Any
questions,
questions, any concerns, if there was something that we said that may have confused you even more, reach out to us. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Reach out to us, leave a message, like, share, save, and we always try our best to address your concerns.
definitely. Next episode, me and Dr. Hodge, we will speak more about the different types of
Yes.
hyperpigmentation, ways to treat them, and myths about the same categories, what's right and not, what's true and what's false.
False, that's
Okay?
right.
So thank you for joining me again, Dr. Hodge. It was a pleasure.
For having me, Tal. It's always a pleasure to speak with my audience.
Yes.
Our audience.
Exactly. So I will see you in the next episode.
That's right.
Thank
A
you
few
for
weeks.
listening and
Thank you
watching
so
us.
much.